Hey there guys, so if you didn't notice a couple of days ago, I made a post where I showed my current BFDI tier list, and then comparing it to the first ever tier list I made, which was around 2018 from what I remember. So I thought I could go and explore more some of the bigger changes that happened in these two tier lists. Today we'll look at those characters I used to hate, but then later on ended up becoming one of my favorite characters of the whole show, so let's get into it. The first character I want to talk about is Tree. I remember when I used to hate Tree with a burning passion, just because he was, quote-unquote, mean. I think I used to hate him because he was specifically mean to Pen, a character I used to like a lot more in the past, such as in BFB 4. You will see this pattern a lot in this video, but most of the characters I'm gonna talk about here are characters that are considered to not be nice. But yeah, with Tree specifically, he definitely is one of the characters that had one of the best glow-ups in the entire list, as he's now currently sitting in my top 10 favorite characters of the entire season. The next character is Snowball, and, just like Tree, I mostly hated Snowball because he wasn't a nice character. But there's also to add that he had this big rivalry with Golf Ball, and considering Golf Ball used to be my second favorite character ever, I pretty much felt like Snowball was nothing but a jerk to Golf Ball. It's pretty funny though, mostly because now Snowball is in my top 15 characters, while Golf Ball just got in my top 30 thanks to Teapot 5. Next up is David, and this one is pretty different from the rest. Apparently I used to really hate David, but honestly, after watching all of his moments again, I found a new and big appreciation for his character. He's what I like to call, the best BFDI joke character. By that I mean, he's able to a really funny character all the time he appears on screen, from the way he says his iconic line, that being, "Oh, seriously?" to how he says something else instead of his line, just like when he voted for Ice Cube in BFDI. Ice Cube! Or when he had the chance to rejoin in BFDI. "Oh, seriously?"
Say something else?
No! While he may not be as strong as characters like Dora, I feel like being funny should be the main focus on these types of characters, since they can really develop in any way. This is also why I don't think that highly of Dora, since while she is a pretty strong character that pretty much carried her team in BFB a lot of times, she isn't really a character I would call funny, which doesn't really leave her much to work with. So yeah, David is the best joke character in BFDI, because he's able to be really fun whenever he's on screen. Fraz is yet another example of a mean character being very low on my old tier list. Yeah, you can probably tell that I wasn't that smart when I was younger all the way back in 2018, cause not only did Fraz manage to get in my likes section after years of me just hating him, but now he was able to get in my top 10 characters, all thanks to Teapot 5. Hopefully he's not gonna leave the show in Teapot 6. Next up is Basketball, and honestly, this is the first character that I can honestly agree with her placement in the old tier list, at least at the time. Think about this. Basketball really wasn't a character in BFB, as the most she's ever done over there was being one of 8Ball's followers. In a way, she was like Tennis Ball, but instead of following Golf Ball, she was following 8Ball. So I can honestly agree with that placement in the old tier list for Basketball. However, once Teapot started, she finally started to have an actual character, where she would actually start to be interesting, having a rivalry with Golf Ball, being a pretty good team leader, and also creating the best team in Teapot by far. So the glow up for Basketball is actually insane, as unlike everyone I talked about so far, she actually wasn't that interesting or even good in BFB, but then had that development that was needed to become an actually great character, so much so that she's now my 5th favorite character in the entire series. Gaty is an interesting case. She really wasn't a mean character, nor she had a change in the more later episodes. It's more like she was given more screen time by the time the more later BFB episodes came around. She clearly wasn't a main focus in the start of BFB, being more of a background character, but then you look at BFB 13, and you can see how Gaty was the one to make Book realize that she was in the wrong about the whole Taco argument. She has shown me, and a lot of other people that, if given enough attention, she can actually be a really great character, which is why she's now my 12th favorite character in the series. And the last character I want to talk about is Pencil. While I used to really hate her, because of her more bossy attitude in BFB 1, after re-looking at her entire experience in the whole show, I have to say that she's a really solid character. Not only did she create the most known and famous alliance of the entire show, that being Free Smart, no not the YouTube, but she's also been a really strong contestant in every season she's been in. People are really gonna call Match better than Pencil, when Match really wasn't her own character before BFB, mostly just working as Pencil's best friend, while Pencil herself was much more important in seasons like BFDIA, being so important in that season that she ended up being the only character in the whole show to create a team on her own. Oh wait, never mind, there's also Teardrop and Teapot, well still, two of the only characters to ever do that. Obviously I'm not saying Match is a bad character, cause I do like her quite a lot too. But honestly Pencil deserves more credit, because she really is one of the best characters that the show has to offer, and I'm glad I came around to realize that. And so that's the end of this video. While there's other characters that had a pretty good glow up during the years, like for example Match, Puffball, and Stapy, the ones I picked here are most likely the ones that had the best improvement over these years. Whenever I'll feel like it, I'll make a follow-up of this video, but this time instead talking about those characters that only got worse with time, so stay tuned for that. And that's all for this video, see you guys later.